And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Fawcett and it is the day after the US 2024 election, and Trump is the winner. And so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how you guys are feeling about that. We'll talk about what you guys have planned, what you're thinking about. That's what we'll do as we continue to see what's happening in this new world that we're waking up to. And right now, the good thing is we do have the Biden-Harris administration in control at the moment. And we do not go into a Trump administration until January. So what are you planning and what do you want to do? What are you thinking about? What are you feeling? What's on your mind? What's in your heart? If you want to, you can make sure those are, hey, Yvette, I see you over there. I see Gerard over there in the Instagram world. If you want, come on over to our YouTube channel and at Ron Lewis Photos, or just put into Google Touch Base Daily and you will be there. And but come on over to our Touch Base Daily on YouTube. So anyway, how are you guys feeling? Let me say first of all some good mornings, as we always do. I see some folks in here. What's going on? Hannah Miller is in the building. Morning, Ron, and Touch Base. Oh, let me put that up there. Let me put it up there. Gotta get your voice up there. Morning, Ron, and Touch Base Daily family. I see those prayers and I see it. I see the prayers and I see the hugs. And in second place for today is Aya is in the building, and third is our Chrissy's Corner is our third bronze winner for this morning. Welcome. And I see also David oh wait, did I forget? Hold on a sec. No, okay, there we go. David Mascaro. Not so good morning, all. Not so good. I know, David. We're gonna make it through. We're gonna make it through. We can make it through. And I see Bryson's in the building. He says, "What's up, Ron? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam?" Oh no, everybody is disappointed. I know everybody's disappointed. Yes, we are. Not only disappointed, but many people are scared. Many people are disappointed. People are in disbelief, and people are scared. I see here Rashawn is in the building. She says, "Good morning, Ron and Touch Base Daily family." Jazzy Jazz is in the building. She says, "Good morning, beautiful people." Mimi is in the building. She says, "Greetings, Ron, RLP crew." Amparo is in the building. Somber Rising. Adrian, New York City is in the building. She says, "Everyone, good morning." Sending hugs. And I see Lisa's in the building. She says, "Good morning, everyone." Oh, we're going to need Lisa's book. We're going to need Lisa's book for sure. After this, we're going to need some healing. We're going to need some healing. I see in here, Janet is in the building. She says, "Greetings, Touch Base Daily family." Michael Young is in the building. He says, "Hey, brother, happy to be alive. The sun is bright, but the day is dark." Whew. Yes, brother. Mimi says, "God is still in control." And yeah, so there we are. So Trump won, and it's something to reflect about when you think about America and where we are today. Because not only did he win, for the first time, he won the popular vote as well. He won the electoral and he won the popular vote. So if there was no electoral college, Trump would have still won. Trump would have still won. He won the majority. He won the majority of the vote, the popular vote. That says a whole lot about our country. That says a whole lot about who we are as a country. Yeah. As he says, people were lying about not voting for him. Yeah. It turns out, if you I don't know if you guys, I'm the geek, so I got up early this morning to look at the numbers. Even though I went to bed, one of my friends called me last night, and they was, I mean, well, I should say this morning because we didn't leave our broadcast until like 1:30. I ended up leaving. I didn't go to bed till 3. And because one of my friends just consoling him because he's in Atlanta, and he was like, Ron, I don't know what this is gonna look like. Where is our country going? Where are we? Where are we? And hey, Chris, just scan the link, scan the QR code. I will also, hold on a second, I'll send it to you. I will send it to you, sir. Well, I will. Let me send this to Chris right now. Hold on a second. Let me send this to Chris. I know Chris has a lot to say. He's supposed to be on vacation. Chris is supposed to be on vacation. Okay, just sent that out. So yeah, I mean, it says a whole lot about our country. And again, like some people were passing around on the internet over the last 2 weeks, voting for Trump is it doesn't say what this doesn't say anything much about Trump, but it says more about who we are. It says who we are. Yeah, like Brian has here, that we will vote for a 34 felonies, 1 conviction cases, still pending 2 impeachments, 6 bankruptcies, and yet he still wins. And you had a successful, accredited woman that had more credentials than any other president, such as any other person running for president in American history. But yet, that wasn't good enough. And somehow, this country, which I've been saying for a long time, is a sick country. The people, when you cannot, I mean, when you think about that, some of the folks voted over, they vote. Someone mentioned, I think it was Gwendolyn this morning. She said, people voted for gas over their daughters. People voted for gas prices over their daughters. And again, and this is not to put name calling on any particular segment of our populations, but Hispanic men, Hispanic people went and they voted. They had 4 years ago, they were at 37% for Biden. This year they were 45% for Trump. Let that rest. Let that sink in. When a man is telling you he's going to deport you, he doesn't respect you, he doesn't like you. He's been telling you who he is since he descended from the escalator. And yet the Latinos voted for Trump. But not only that, Black people voted for Trump around the 12% mark. The 12% mark 4 years ago, they voted at 21%. 21%. Not only that, but all the urban centers with people of color and lots of women voted greater numbers for Trump. Brooklyn, New York, 5% higher than 4 years ago for Trump. Manhattan, 5% higher than a year ago. I'm sorry, 4 years ago. Queens, 5% higher. 5% higher for Trump. America has to sit down with itself and reflect on who we are as a country. And that's the reality, is that when you can vote for a convicted felon, a liar, someone that lies like he breathes, and yet you don't see that being a problem. This is the reality we are in. This is America. People always say, oh, this is not us. This is not America. No, this is not us. When we, all the craziness that goes on. No, this is who we are as Americans. And we have to think hard about where we are as a country, where we heard, he told us what he's going to do. I'm going to be a dictator on day one. He says, I'm going to deport 20 million people. The list goes on. You got the record and the Project 2025 manual mandate. They've been recruiting people. It goes on and on, but yet America said, we'd rather have that than have a black woman, Asian black woman as president, because it's definitely misogyny, racism, bigotry at a lot of the base of this. Anyway, let me bring my partner on in crime. Mr. Chris Edwards is in the building. What's going on, sir? I know you feeling some kind of way today. You got
Let
the
me take. Sorry, let me clean my lens so you can see me properly. So I wasn't gonna come on,
I know
you
you
know.
weren't. I'm
But
surprised you're here.
yeah, well, no, we leave tomorrow, so today's let's kind of like finishing up and trying to get some stuff done, running around. But and by the way, great talk last night with you and the other two guests you had on. Because I watched you. You were on one screen. I had CNN. I had MSNBC on watching last night. I watched until about 1 o'clock, and then decided, you know what? I know where this is going. This happened already in 2016. I'm going to bed, and I'll hear about it in the morning. Got up this morning, and at 5:30 a.m., I happened to have CNN on because that was the last thing that was on in the bedroom. And of course, they made the announcement that they can call it that Trump is going to be the next president. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not surprised. And I have to say, I didn't have that gut wrenching um, feeling that I did in 2016, where it was just like a gut punch. And this is what I have to say. We know who America was prior to this campaign season. Now it's just solidified for who and what America is. All right. It comes down to white men. We know who we're going to vote for him, white women, and Latin men. Those are the three
Yep,
demographics that allowed him to win um, decisively.
decisively.
So, what I say is Latin men, when they come for you, when they come for your wives and they separate you from your children, you have nothing to say. White women, when they start stripping you of all your other rights, in addition to health care, you have what's coming to you. Okay. We already knew who white men were. They feel as though they are a dying breed and a minority. And this is their way of taking back, quote unquote, their country. When I got this one, I had a heavy heart and I really felt a little anxious. So I'm like, you know what? They already came for the white women. They are all out for trans people. But you know what though? They're coming for the whole entire rainbow of colors, LGBTQIA plus. And the reason why I had a little bit of angst this morning was that they're going to come for not just me, but they're going to come for my marriage to my husband, something that I'm proud of, something that I never thought that I would actually have in this country. And you know, if make no mistakes about it, Project 2025 is being implemented. I mean, it already has,
It already has
and
been, right?
and as Elise has been saying for over the last year plus, when we get on this platform and talk, um, we knew what the plan was because they put it out there, and America chose that this is what they want. So let me just be clear. I've said it before, the handmaid's tale, let it begin. Let it begin. You know, and I've even gotten comments from one of my best friends. He lives in England. I'm going to actually see him in 2 days. But he's fearful for the rest of the world because everyone always looks to the U.S. and relies on the U.S. for everything. They quote unquote they've looked up to the U.S. Not so much after, of course, Trump's been in office, but they look at the United States as a beacon for the world. And what is that supposed to say as us as Americans that we can look at someone who's been convicted of 34 felonies, who has been not even just accused, but sought liable for sexual abuse of a woman, says that he wants to shoot people, says that he wants to gather people up and detain them and do mass deportation. Like, how do we as a country justify that to the world? How can we expect other people to be better when we can't even be better for ourselves? You know what? I'm not even angry. I'm not upset. I'm just deeply disappointed. And I'm I'm disappointed in the people that should have helped protect us. Latin men, you are immigrants just the same way that everybody else is an immigrant. This whole machismo thing, you will learn really quickly that it's not meant for you because they're coming for you. They are coming for you. They're coming for your family member. They're coming for your children. That's all I have to say on it. I mean, I'm not even gonna take up too much time, but I'm just disappointed. I'm not angry, because anger takes too much emotion. And to be honest with you, I don't have the energy to give. I'm about to go enjoy a vacation, and I want to live in that space. Um, and I've created a life for myself, and I want to live in that space. Yes, I live amongst the world, other Americans, but it's just disappointing. I mean, America failed us last night, and America failed the world because you've given permission now for the rest of the world to do this. Let's look at Ukraine. They're going to stop funding that come January. Once he gets into office, Ukraine will fall next. Don't be surprised when Vladimir Putin and Russia start invading other countries. And guess what? Trump's going to be like, okay, go ahead. I honestly believe that this is the beginning of something that the world has probably never seen before.
Yeah, it's we have no idea how this will affect the globe. And again, for those that travel around the world, you know what I'm talking about. America, even in all of its problems and all of its craziness, one thing that they still held on to was the beacon of democracy.
Yeah.
And this is an assault, for those that don't know, that's been going on globally for a while.
Yep.
Democracies around the globe are fighting for their lives. It happened in France, but the French people at the last minute said, nope, we're not going that way. It's happening right now in Germany. It's happening in South
Yep.
Africa. It's happening in so many places around the globe, small and large democracies, civil wars breaking out, East Africa, Ethiopia, North Ethiopia, Sudan, Congo, Rwanda. These places are all fighting for their democracies,
Yeah.
and their democracies are under assault. This is not just an American phenomena,
No.
it's happening globally.
Yep.
But what's different is that America is the beacon of democracy.
And see, that's the bad part. People don't realize that people look to America for that hope. And the fact that now we don't even have hope for ourselves, what hope is there for anyone else? And I think that's the sad part of it all because, you know, I think we've just completely, as of last night, today, we've completely lost whatever shred of credibility we had anywhere else in the world. We really have.
Mm.
And I know people say, oh, you can't look at it that way. But people, you need to be realistic here. All the things that he's been saying for the last year, he's going to do it. He tried to do it before, but he had people around him that did not allow him to. Those people are no longer around him. He is surrounded by he surrounded himself with yes people, people that want to please and kiss the ring. All right. You have people that are worse than he is. God forbid something actually happens to Trump while he's in office or before he takes office. Do you know who the president's going to be? JD Vance. JD Vance is a chameleon and will do whatever the people around him want him to do. And the bad thing about it is that Trump is uneducated. JD Vance is educated.
He's highly
And
educated,
and that makes him
more
dangerous.
dangerous. I see here, let me just go in here. I see some also encouraging words here. Kimmy Kim says, when things are tough, yes, take it day by day. Jazzy, um, Reese, I am Miss Reese says, Jazzy, I need time to process this. And I saw also on the Facebook, sorry, on the Instagram page, Yvette says, but we have to remember that the Lord uses the devil for his purpose. It will always comfort me knowing that the Lord is still God of all. Power, keep the faith. Keep God of all. Power, keep the faith. I also saw some other encouraging, and I want to make sure that we do bring in the balance of yes, we are where we are, but there's hope as long as we are alive. Because again, you know, just because the majority says they want to have a dictator as a leader, or they want to deport people, they want what Trump is offering. They want what Trump is offering. However,
Which is a false flag.
yeah,
This country was founded on immigrants. There, his parents are well, his grandparents or yeah, his grandparents came from Germany. I
well,
mean,
as a matter of fact, his grandfather was booted from Germany.
yeah, because he dodged, I believe, a war.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
go
also
figure.
he found himself in Alaska, and how he got some of his money. He created brothels, and then came to New York with his money, and so yada yada. But I see Jazzy's in the building too. What's going on, Jazzy? Good morning.
Good morning, Jazzy.
Good
Great coverage last
morning.
night, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Wasn't Jazzy a great
Yeah,
Jazzy was a great co-host last
you
night.
and G last night were really, really good.
Yeah, this this morning it's been interesting, right? Like I think I'm more, if I'm being honest, annoyed than surprised.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed because I'm just like, there's nothing more that she could have done, to be
No,
honest.
you're right.
And
She did all the things.
it's like when I watch people and I'm sitting here and I said last night, like I had people tell me yesterday, like it doesn't really matter because nothing's going to change for me personally. And I'm like, that's the selfishness that we have, right? I don't think we understand that the power of the collective is so strong.
Yes.
And I think one of the things that we have to remember in this moment is feel the way that you feel today, take your time, grieve the way that you need to, but understand that there's still power in our collective. We still
Yes.
have the opportunity to make changes that we want to see and actually believe that and stand on that and push for it. And it's hard to feel that way in this moment because yes, we not only lost the presidency, we lost the Senate.
Yes.
And
That
we
is
We
might be
another part.
losing the house.
Yeah,
Right,
and
and I was
that's
gonna
the
say, and they look
dangerous
like they're
part.
going to retain the House, and I think for me, that's one of those things where I'm like, we have to we have to understand that we have power. I
Yes.
live in a state where, to be honest, we're insulated. Maryland is a very democratic state. We
Mm.
have a very good balance in our House and our Senate, but our state is we're balanced in a way that in certain ways, if certain things happen, we're protected, right? But I do understand that like we just have to push for the things that we want and pressure our politicians to actually do the things that we need them to do and want them to do. Last night showed that mm, Roland Martin said yesterday, somebody said on the Roland Martin show that you were covering, it was like the proximity to whiteness is something that people are missing. In the immigration issue, a lot of times we always like to bring it back to slavery times, but we have
Yes.
to remember most of these people were not here when that happened, right? So when we talk about people, Hispanic men, for instance, right, that are voting against their interests, we're looking at it from the standpoint of they view you as 3/5. For them, they're like, they view me as white. And how do I know this? I I know people, right, that I used to work with, and I remember they were going for their citizenship, right? This one lady that was my friend, well, she's still my friend. She came back to me and she was like, "I'm a white woman now," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And she said, "They classified me as a white woman." That's what they do to make them believe that they are a part of them. They do that on purpose to give them the illusion that, listen, don't vote with these people because they're not for you, even though they're pushing against everything that they actually stand for. So I think that it's like we have to reevaluate how we're thinking some of these people are viewing themselves because they don't view themselves the way that we might view them in that like, hey, you're a person of color, like we're black, you're a person of color,
Yes.
we're in it together. They don't view that. They're like,
No.
well, I'm not like you. And it's not just like
They
let's
about
be
to find out.
right. And it's
Well,
not just Hispanic immigrant, it's immigrants as a whole. They are taught not to be black and to put a barrier between them,
but
right? And
remember
it
also, if I may interject, Jazz,
works.
remember also the whole foundation of colonization is to divide,
Yes.
is to keep everyone divided while white supremacy reigns.
Yeah.
And this is and unfortunately when people don't have the mind, they don't, man, there's so many complexities to what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
There's so many levels, young people not knowing history not
That's
being
first.
passed by, education not being taught. Some people just want selfish motives. They just say, you know what, screw this, I want to tear the country down because I'm not getting what I want.
They
there's
want another check, which
there's
is not coming.
so many
They got
complexities
77,
and levels of hate
75.
and anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Gwendolyn. Good morning. I'm
Good
sorry,
morning.
Jazzy. Continue. You
No,
went
no,
for-
I'm good. I'm
You
good.
good? Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Gwendolyn. Hey, Gwendolyn. Good morning.
Well, I'll add on to what Jazzy was saying, because I mentioned this some time ago that when I did the census in New York City, I was looking at people who were clearly of color, but they are allowed to say whatever they want to say, and they put themselves down as white. I'm like, interesting, right?
Mhm.
But people don't see themselves as Black, which is like the most ultimate worst thing in the world. But I just finished. I just did my 9 miles run, almost did 10. And
She said she needed to get out this morning. She's
had
like,
to get
I
out
gotta
this
walk.
morning. And it's
I love
I
it.
had energy to do it this morning. I was supposed to run.
I went through just about every stage of grief, right? Like I started off with, I can't believe I woke up to this morning, right?
Yeah.
And by the time I got back to the house, I was like, okay, so the question now is what's next? Because like
What's
at this point,
next?
we all know,
Mm-hmm.
like I have no place for the sort of soft commentary that is about the Democrats not getting their message out. It's about the campaigning. It's about, we gonna cut all that shit out, like cut it out.
Yeah.
Right. We know
Yeah.
who America is. We know that this is a patriarchal system and it's about misogyny and racism and sexism. And at the end of the day, you don't want a woman, let alone a Black South Asian woman, as president. Duly noted. Great. So
Mm-hmm.
now we start. Now I'm not starting tomorrow. I need to take my vacation. I need to get my
Get the
energy
head
back
right.
up.
Right. Yes.
But come January, this is where we say, you know what? We got 2 years to get back to what we should have done before and get back into our community outreach and let people know what the power is. And you start where they are, local level. You
That's
start
right.
working on it then, because right now it's like, I don't understand how we're here. Because yes, there were what, 70 something thousand million people or whatever who voted for him, like popular, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she
Yeah.
got like what, 66, 67
66
something
and
million?
60. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, okay, so
67
there's like
million.
this. I'm not talking to you, machine. So it's about finding that silver lining, right?
Yeah.
So I saw Lisa's comment about the democracy and the people voted yes. The idea is sometimes you get cheese pizza and sometimes somebody voted for the Hawaiian with the pineapple. Okay. I didn't get my pizza this time around. Now I am praying to God Almighty that I get my pizza the next time around. But until we find out, what we will do is we will get back to work, because clearly everybody doesn't believe them, right? Like we're not all trying to be in a dictatorship, and we all don't believe in hate and putting people down and vilifying the other. There is a good section of people who believe in something better than. So I am focused on, okay, great, let me get my energy together. And then I'm gonna come back and be like, how do we get that? Because we were this close. That's my silver lining.
And think about that. Yeah, I mean, think about that. And that's a good point, Gwendolyn, is that even though she lost by razor thin margins.
Mm-hmm.
And just like we say, he may have 70,000 people voted for him.
Million.
70 million people. But Kamala had 67 million.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Mhm.
So there's still almost half the voting block that is standing for morality, kindness, joy, not putting people down, but lifting people up. There's still 67 million people out there that we can educate, we can bound together, we can connect with one another, and realize our future is stronger and brighter when we work together.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think that is something that we have to keep in front of us. And I'm not saying don't feel the way that you feel, because I feel it too. Yes. But I think that's something that we have to keep in front of us. We have to, because I think the moment that we don't, and we allow them to just infiltrate our minds in a way where it's like we feel like we can't do anything, that's what they want. The reason why, they went and shot Fred Hampton, right?
Yes.
Because of the fact that what he was doing at the time, at 21 years old,
Yes.
What he was doing at the time was not just galvanizing Black people. It wasn't about his galvanization of Black people. It was about his galvanization of other people of color, of white poor people, of Spanish poor people, of Asian poor people, and collectively getting everybody on his side. He was doing that. And they
Yes.
saw that. And what they were saying was, okay, now wait a minute. You can have all the rest of these people, but now you got our white people in here. So it's not that it can't be done. It's that we are taught that it can't be done. There are plenty of people that stood with us on all facets of life, right? But we are just taught that we don't have power. And what I try to say time and time again in this country, we have more power than we understand. We
Yes.
don't utilize it because we're taught not to. We're taught to take it for granted. The people that do immigrant over here, one of the things they are immigrating to is the freedom that we have here. We take it for granted because we're just
Yep.
like, we have it. What do you mean you're going to take it away? We don't think it's plausible. So what I always try to tell people is like, don't take that for granted. When people tell me I don't care about voting, I'm like, no, you should, because you have that. You have that power.
I think you're saying something really poignant because I think that, as an immigrant myself, even though I came here when I was young, I understand the power of being able to have that freedom, and then looking at other countries who don't have that. I think as Americans being born here, you are so privileged and you don't even realize it.
Yes.
That's why people that come from other countries to work so hard and they're willing to do the job that you feel is beneath you because you were born here. And that is not the case. And I think that a lot of Americans who are born here just don't get it.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too. A lot of those people that are voting for Trump have never left this country and don't know what it is to see other countries and to see how other people live.
Yeah. A
They
lot
have
of
no
most
point
of
of
them.
reference.
Yeah, they don't they think it's like, oh, I can go into another, just like there was some video about like a woman talking about, oh, I'm going to immigrate to another country if Trump wins. And they were like,
I saw that
so
it's a
yeah,
commercial.
like you saw
Yeah,
it. Yeah. And it was like, so you're going to do the exact thing that you're trying to stop people from doing here. And thinking
absolutely.
that it's okay to do in another country, but you don't want it to happen here. So you're being a hypocrite. And it's
Yeah.
like, then you go over there and you try to think that you're going to do the same things that you're going to do here, but guess what? You're not going to be able to. They have
And it,
certain laws in other countries that you can't
well,
even.
let me interject because I've been looking to move out of the country, right?
Yeah,
So, but it is not as easy as people think. And what
Yeah.
makes
it's
America
not.
so great? That's what we want to talk about. Make great again. America is great in this uniqueness, like Ronald Reagan said in his speech, which people and I know a lot of people don't like Ronald Reagan, but his speech about taking in the poor and the immigrants and the people that are not like us from around the globe. It's just one of his farewell speeches.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about America would lose its substance of who we are when we forget this. Because I'm looking at other places to live across and overseas, and you have to come with money.
Mm-hmm.
You
They don't
can't.
want the poorest.
America is the only place on earth
The poorest, no, you can't go.
that you can come as poor.
No. They want
Other
money.
countries, like I said, I got my French homework, I got my
And they won't even
Namibia
allow you to
homework,
work in their country.
and they say
Say
on
that
all of
again.
this,
A
you
lot of other
must.
countries will not allow, sorry, Ron, but they won't allow
Yes.
you to work in their country if
Facts.
you're not a citizen. And you can't just go and get married to someone and go and get a job. Because, like, nope, you can't come into our country, marry our people, and use our system. They're like,
No,
you
they
can't
do
do
not
it.
do it.
I know someone who went to another country and it took him years to work there legally because they were like, nope. And it didn't matter if he was highly educated and had college degrees, they don't care. You're not using our system to benefit you
Mm-hmm.
unless it benefits us.
But also, the thing is, most countries will not let you in unless you are bringing something to them.
Yep.
South Africa, Namibia. These are my researches.
I think even like
French.
England.
Ghana is giving you things when they say come on over, but they want to make sure you come over with stuff. They want you to have a bank account. You know, because I've been like I said, I told you I've been researching. For me to move to Namibia, if I decide to do it, I have to have almost $250,000 of their money established in their bank account system to assure that I'm not going to come to their country and live off their system. They need to have the proof that you are not the poor. And this is most countries. And what makes America uniquely America is that you can come here with nothing.
Yep. I've known people that come here with nothing.
Absolutely
$200 to their name.
Nothing. And that's why people line up. That's why people track across, leave Venezuela, like a gentleman I met 2 years ago. People pack their bags with, and these were doctors, lawyers, nurses in Venezuela when they lost their democracy. And I will never forget this photographer because he photographed his journey. And he photographed the journey of these families. And he says, this was 2 years ago. We sat we stood underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. He said to me, America is heading to where we were.
Yep.
And he says, and when it happened to Venezuela, we didn't see it coming.
Yep. My
And
grandmother
when it came, it was slowly coming in like a snake sliding in. And then, bam.
But you know what, though? The signs have been here all along. We've lived through it already.
Here.
But what it is, you've got those people, like I look at some of these people, these pundits on like CNN especially. I forget the one white guy's name. He irritates the shit out of me. Forgive me, Lord. But they're saying, oh, he's just talking. He's not going to do that. But I'm voting for him because, I wanted to be in that good financial place that we were. Listen, people, stop lying. We were not in a good financial place when Trump was in office. He inherited Obama's economy and he ran it into the ground, gave his quote unquote billionaire friends who are not friends of his, they're just using him because Trump is a fucking moron. Let's just call it what it is. He gave them tax breaks. And this is the reason why, a lot of these millionaires, billionaires, and big businesses surround themselves with Trump and try to be Trump adjacent because they want those tax cuts so that they can continue to be rich and the poor can continue to be poor. All right. Let me tell you something. Elon Musk is the most wealthiest man in the world. Okay. Trump is going to give him total control. You think that Elon Musk is not going to buy other social media platforms and buy media? Let me tell you something. Trump already wants to pull the licenses for CBS, ABC, NBC, and only leave Fox to have a state-run news media. Elon Musk can buy all those other conglomerate media companies and run it the way he sees fit, the same way he did with Twitter. All right. He ran Twitter into the ground. Not that Twitter was great to begin with, but he took it over, didn't know what he was doing, has run it into the ground. He has pumped millions into Trump to help Trump win. And then now you've got RFK Jr., who was his brainworm, who's going to be in charge of CDC and all these other governmental things. The man doesn't have a fucking clue.
Zero.
Sorry, you're going to need an NC-17 rating on this episode.
And to your point, I was talking to somebody about this earlier. I was like, I think people are confused, right? I said, the reason why we have the current inflation problem that we do, yes, COVID was a part of it, but I was like, the man was spending more money than we were taking in.
Yes.
It's just basic. Like you're giving these rich people a tax break, still spending the same amount of money because this is what is happening. And then you're like, okay, well, they don't need to pay anything. And you're kind of going to pay more taxes, but you're kind of not. So here we go. And, I'm going to boost it for you, but my friends are going to be over here and they're going to have these tax breaks. Elon Musk is basically his own country. Jeff Bezos
Yes.
is his own country.
Yes.
There is no reason why somebody should have that much money ever. There are people in the world that make $10 a month.
That's
A
right.
month. And this man has $243 billion.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If
And
I'm
like
And
I
that's what we
and like
sit
I
here and
said,
we're just like, oh, okay, we want to be like them. We're never going to be them.
No, you're
No.
not going to get
And it's
that.
not because I'm not saying that somebody can't possibly invent something or whatever, right? But I'm just saying, like, we're not going to be them in 4 years. We're not going to be able to just jump off and be like, I'm going to be a billionaire and I'm going to have all these things. That's not how this world works. And I need us to be more realistic about what it is that we are saying that we want. We are confused as a people
There you
because
go.
we allow people to tell us what we want to hear versus what is actually happening. I'm like, this is so basic to me that it's kind of like when I hear people just, Gwendolyn, you said it last night, people's ignorance because they want to be ignorant.
Choice.
They're not trying. It is a choice.
Mhm.
It is a choice to not understand his economic plan. It is a choice to not
yes.
want to see what is happening with the stock markets. And like I said last night, I get it. If you're a person that can't save $1,000, why do I care about the stock market, right? Because the reality is that is something that people don't talk about. There are so many people that can't even save $1,000.
Well, like Gwendolyn tells me, we talk about this all the
You know what I
time.
mean? Like,
I was thinking
Everyone
that.
is one paycheck away from
yes,
being
Yeah.
Right.
homeless.
everybody.
Yes.
I'm not naive enough to think like I just think that sometimes, and I have been there. I have literally been there. I was basically homeless in 2016. I had to build myself back up. I own my own company, things happen, and then I had to build myself back up. And it is hard to do. And I
Yes.
think sometimes people take for granted what you have in your life.
Yes.
No, I'm not a billionaire. Would I love more money? Who wouldn't want more money? Everybody wants more money. But the reality is like what he's doing, what he's trying to put in place, the social services that you don't have access to now, like it's going to be way worse.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember
Absolutely.
sitting in front of somebody and them telling me, they were like, oh, okay, do you have a kid? I was like, I don't have a kid. And they were just like, I can't really help you for 2 years. That is going to go away
Yeah.
completely,
Which brings
whether
me
you have
to
a kid
my
or not.
which Jazzy brings me to my next point as we get ready to close out this. But this is this is the last part of the conversation. So hang around because we want to get some good information out. So what now?
Yeah.
What now? One, like I heard Michelle, I forgot Michelle's last name, but she's very close to the whole creation of the whole campaign for Kamala Harris and working behind the scenes. She and the sorority of sisters and the nine. She is like and something she said last night. We need to start getting our game plans together. So this week, I said I can grieve. I'm going to grieve all for the rest of the week. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to mope. I'm going to cry. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be far and extreme in how I feel this week. I'm pissed off with my fellow Americans. I am angry that we have become who we are. But what now? I saw in here our wonderful Dorian is in the building. Work on things you need to do before he gets into office.
Save
Number
your money.
one, start
Save
putting
your
money
money.
away. Cash is king. Number two, if you have healthcare issues or you have not gone to the doctors, you need to get all your healthcare stuff in order. Go get your dentist stuff done. If you are under the American
ACA.
Care Act, AC, and another first Obamacare, if you are getting those benefits, make sure you use them now. I'm so glad I've been getting I've been doing it myself. before Trump came into the new 47. But make sure you start getting your health care taken care of now, so that way if it's gone later, you've got you know exactly what your blood work says, you know exactly what you're dealing with, how you can correct if you're on the edge of diabetes or on the edge of high blood pressure or high cholesterol. Get your numbers in your health. Make sure you start working on it now. Number 3, if you do not have a passport, you need to work on getting one.
Mine expiring 2027.
Get your passport. If you have one that's getting ready to renew, get it renewed. Don't wait. Don't wait to 2025. If you see like you got, because most of the time they tell you to to renew it 3 months in advance anyway. So get your passport renewed. Start working on getting that passport, because God forbid we do have to leave this country because of whatever. It could be anything. You can't go to another country without your passport. So get your passports up to date. And if you don't have one, get one. And Dorian said something that was really interesting. And not everyone can do this. But if you can, you might want to think about, how do I do dual citizenship in another country? And it's putting money in a bank somewhere, buying property in another country, setting yourself up for that move. Because we are going into another phase, a new phase in America, that we don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a bumpy ride, to say the least.
Brand new world.
It's a brand new, and someone said in the chat, in the comments, Ron, where do we go? Where do we go?
Well, can I add something to that?
Before you go there, though, where do we go? Because not everyone can leave. Not everyone can travel. Most people have to stay. Most people don't have the ability to.
Yeah,
the majority is going to stay.
Yeah, the majority stays here.
I love all of your tips. I will say this: I have a mother who is 78. She's not going anywhere.
That's right.
I have grandbabies. I have brand new grandbabies. They're not going anywhere. My nieces, my nephews, my great niece, great nephew, they're not going anywhere. So I'm not going anywhere. Although we have our passports and stuff, most of us have our passports, but it reminds me of evacuating for a hurricane. You need access.
Yes.
You need access. You need the ability to. Now, I think it sounds great. There will be a certain amount of people who will be able to pack it up and go, and I bless them dearly. I am in it for the long haul fight, because me and my family, my kids are not going anywhere. They are not. My mama's not going anywhere. Even though my dad has set her up very well, she's not leaving this place until she leaves this place. So I am looking at, what do I have to do to make this transition the very best for my babies that are here, because we are in it. We are in it. Even if my husband and I could leave, we could leave, but I'm not leaving my grandbabies here. Like, we're not doing that. And I'm not leaving my mama here.
And I think that has to be said, because I think sometimes when I hear that conversation, everybody's so quick to say that. But I think the resource situation, there are people that I know that live in Baltimore City that have not been around the corner to a different block because they can't afford it.
That's right.
So the reality is, most people will not be able to even afford a passport, let alone get up out of the city, and definitely not go to a different country. So I think sometimes we have to, like Gwendolyn said, I think it sounds great. There are a lot of people that are going to have the ability to do that. But I think the reality is, most of us are not going to be able to do that just on the financial tip alone. So we're going to have to, I would say, in this moment, we have to organize on the local level and actually have grassroots efforts to actually make changes that we want to see. And it starts in your actual community, and actually going to these city council meetings and pressuring your politicians to do the things that they are, quote unquote, promising to do. I think a lot of times we go to these elections and we're like, okay, now it's over, so we're done. But we can't do that. We have to be a part of the process. We have
Yes.
to be a part of the process and stop
Listen,
pretending like we do not have
so
the ability to.
so
And
here,
I want to say one
yeah.
quick other thing because I'm about to have to jump to this meeting because I forgot about it. but thank you all for just allowing this conversation to happen. That's all I want to say. So thank you.
Chris, what you got, Chris?
No,
Yes.
I'm in agreement with Jazzy, but one of the things is like, you vote for these politics. I'm gonna use like Ted Cruz as a perfect example,
Oh man.
because like there's
Texas.
no reason in hell why he should be back in office again. The man
But
has
they love
done
him.
nothing for his state.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's who
He
they
has
are.
no track record to run off of, but because he is a white man in a Republican state and they want power, they put him back there.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is the only reason. This man has done nothing for the state of for the state of
No.
Texas.
Yes,
When
at
a
all.
hurricane came and was blowing through Texas, what did he do? He ran to Cancun.
Oh no, that was the cold. That was the cold.
Sorry, yeah, the cold. He
Yeah.
He was
ran,
out of the
but you're
cold.
supposed to be there for your constituents, for the people
Yes.
that you represent.
Yeah.
What did you do? You packed up your family and you fled.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But they rewarded him for it.
Yeah.
But this is what they do. The one thing that I would say about Republicans or these MAGA Republicans, they stand by each other because they want that power. They will do whatever it takes. That's the one thing that Democrats do not do. They do not know how to fight.
Well, then
They do not know
also,
how to
We
fight.
used to, because we had Ann Richards as a governor. She was an amazing Democratic governor. I grew up with her as a person in the state of Texas. Like we were blue purple at that point, so we know what's possible. It's a matter of you have to get back to your roots. I feel like
and
I'm feeling my mother and my father when they were out there doing their deal. We are going back there because I got babies who gonna be here, and like my grandson is only 8 months.
Yeah.
My great niece is 10. My great nephew is 5. These are babies. I got work to do here.
yeah, and again, this is my last thought on what to do and what's now is what Jazzy said is that we have to get back to the basics and what Gwendolyn is saying. We have to somehow school our young people. We need to educate them by word of mouth, sitting them down and say, okay, who did you vote? I mean, if you don't mind me, who did you vote for? And then you have a conversation and be able to teach them and share with them where we've come as a people and where we've come as a country, where we were and where we are now and where we want to go. So what's now is that we need to educate. We need to also get ourselves, ready for whatever financial situation is going to happen. Because if you have health care right now because of Obamacare, use it, and make sure you get everything taken care of and done. So that way if it's gone, you know where you stand and you have a jump off point of how to work out or whatever you need to do. But yeah, this was a great conversation, y'all. Chris, thank you for popping on.
Thank
Gwendolyn,
you.
I know you came from your run and
I
your
need to
walk.
shower. There's no smell-o-vision. Thank goodness. It ain't good over here, partners. It's not good over here.
So this was great. I'm so glad I have you as a community to come to and to have these discussions. And I think with all of the brain power in this community, as we begin to step forward and move forward together, we will continue to encourage one another and educate one another. This is why we do what we do. This is why we meet here every day. For those that are new here, you are welcome to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I should have been having that little tape going on at all earlier, but just join us on YouTube. And then also remember to like and subscribe. The algorithms love it. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Put the words in the comment box. If this meant something to you, put words in the comment box to let people know what this meant to you. And again, if you have any wisdom or any thoughts that are going to help people, put that in the comment box also, because we thrive as a community. And again, the only way we're going to go forward correctly is to go forward together. Okay. And I think that's that. And oh, I do have something I wanted to mention. And let me get there. I know you guys. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you, Chris, and have a great vacation, Chris.
Thank you.
Travel safe.
And have a great. I just kind of all right. Goodbye, Gwendolyn. And but also, I just want to thank you to my sponsors. And if you want to be a sponsor of this program, we have Rolling Clouds, we have Patreon community, and we have Eretmus. And so if you want to be a sponsor and have your logo on this, thank you to our sponsors, you can do that too. And also, if you're looking for an event photographer, I am an event photographer, and I am for hire for corporations and for family gatherings and whatever you need a photographer for. So if you have an event that you want to photograph, reach out to me. And also, if you have a brand that you want to share your product, like I just did with my product, you can do that too. And let me know by DMing me. So that way you can share. Let me just put that up there. Where it goes. There it is. You can DM me. There we go. For posting ads, and DM me at ronlewisphotos@gmail.com. So that way you can pay for some time. We get exposure because we're here in this audience, and we get about 86,000 views per month on this channel. So that's a great thing. And so those are eyes on your products. So let us know if you want to do that. Okay. Anyway, I thank you for being here today. And I will see you tomorrow. We'll be having our Touch Base Daily. And tomorrow is Trend Watch. We'll probably end up continuing this conversation. And just wanted to say thank you. And I love you. And we are going to be successful. And we're going to move forward. We are going to move forward. And we're moving forward together. Later.